welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Jennifer, and if you're not new here, you're gonna notice that I'm not in my usual recording space. I'm in a bathroom. This is actually my master bath, and I am gonna be doing a skincare video for you guys today. So I thought I should be, in the place that I use my skincare. So let's go ahead and dive in. First, I have to pull back this craziness of hair. Like my little bow here, very nice, very stylish, right? Very stylish. And then I pull it back into a ponytail in addition to that because my hair is so thick and so unruly that it will just get into my face no matter what I do. So let's come over here a little bit and get to see my gray wall behind me. But let's talk a little bit about skincare. So what I always start with every single time that I clean my face is the cleansing spa water. This is the Cogendo. This is the really large one. I use this as my first step in my cleanse every time, every night, without fail. And then I go in with one of three products. So the first one is the Retrouve Luminous Cleansing Elixir. This is a pump. Comes like this. Pump it out. You can see that. And I pump it out of my hand. It's like a gel-like cleansing balm. And I use that most of the time, actually. I end up using this one. Then the other one I have is for cleansing. I use the Lemare Cleansing Oil. You can see it's used a lot of it. You shake it up a little bit, pump it out. It's a cleansing oil, and I clean my face with that. And then the third one, which is really new to my regimen, is the Chantikai Rose de Mai Cleansing Balm. Now, I'll be honest, this is the one that I use when I really need a relaxing, spa-like, beautiful fragrance. It's beautiful. It doesn't irritate my eyes. I can use it to rub off my eye makeup. It's fantastic, but it is relatively new to my skincare regimen. The Retrouve is about a year I've been using it. Absolutely love it. Sorry, picking up the wrong thing. The Retrouve is about a year, and like I said, I use this all the time. Make sure the camera can pick it up. I use this all the time for cleansing, okay? So that's my second step. Or the Lemare. The Lemare I've been using the longest. The Lemare, honestly, guys, I don't know how long I've been using it. It's a really long time. So it's one of those three. It does depend on time of year a lot of the time. So when it's winter and my skin is drier, I tend to use the Retrouve. I tend to use this in the summer. And like I said, the cleansing balm with the Chantikai is new. So I haven't been using it as long, but it's really relaxing. And it feels nice. It smells beautiful. The Retrouve does not smell beautiful. It has no fragrances. It has no additives. So it's all the ingredients and what they actually smell like, which is great for people who are trying to, stay away from added fragrances and things. But it's not like a spa-like experience. But what I will tell you though, is it's really good for your skin. So that's more important. So my second step, after I get everything really cleansed, is I always use the Lemare, and I want to make sure it's called the Tonic. This is what I put on my little Clos de Peau cotton pads, and I wipe down my skin. Anytime my skin gets in contact with water, I use this. I feel like it rebalances my pH, makes my skin normalized, and I'm good to go. Now, day steps would be different. Today I'm just going to talk about nighttime. So in the daytime, I end up putting on the Moisturizing Soft Lotion by Lemare over the next few steps. During the night, though, I use different creams. So let's get into the night. Okay, so I have a couple of things that I will do, and it depends, again, on my skin condition, how things are going, time of week, time of month. I use the Retrouve Skin Brilliance priming pads when I use these twice a week. They are these little, you've seen these soaked pads, and they are refining. They exfoliate my skin. They do not irritate my skin at all. They're the only pads that have ever been able to do that. Anytime I have a AHA, use those pads to clean your face, it burns my skin off. not the Retrouve. So I use those once or twice a week, depending on the other products that I use. And the reason I mention the other products, as I turn my little thing spinning around here, is I have the Chantikai Bamboo and Hibiscus Exfoliating Cream, which is an exfoliator that you just scrub all over your face and you wash it right off. That's the other exfoliator that I use, or the Chantecaille Hibiscus Smoothing Mask, which you leave on 5 to 10 minutes, and then again, you rub off after you leave it off. All of those things will exfoliate. I also will use every once in a while the Lush coffee scrub. If you like coffee and you like the smell of coffee, you have to buy it. It's coffee. It's ground coffee beans and like a whole bunch of other things, but you basically scrub it into your face, you leave it on for 10 minutes and you wash it off. It doesn't irritate my skin, it does exfoliate, it smells like coffee, it's gorgeous. But the exfoliation, I have to be careful because I do have rosacea, I do have sensitive skin, reactive skin. So it depends on how my skin is doing. Like certain times of the month, I'm a little bit more oily or a little bit more dry, or my skin is a little bit red, etc., etc. So you need to like adjust on what you're using depending on how your skin feels, how your skin looks. In the winter, my skin is much drier, so you know I need more exfoliation to get those dead skin cells off and more moisture in. In the summertime, frankly, I'm sweating more, I'm a little bit oilier. I'm exfoliating with the coffee scrub more than likely. I use the pads, strangely enough, more in the winter. Now again, I use them in the summer too, but I just don't use them as often. So those are the exfoliators that I use. Those are the only exfoliators that I use. I don't use any others. I'm just double checking, but that's it. Those are the ones that I like. Those are the ones I prefer. Again, we're not going to get into daytime today, but I do have a hyaluronic, an HA that I use during the day, a serum, but that's for daytime. We're just talking about nighttime. I have under eye puffiness cream, again, daytime. But I do have mention of the one I use, one of the ones I use, the Chantikai, in my Chantikai video. That one works really, really well. Okay, so essences. I have 2 that I use. The Sisley skincare lotion, which is what I've been using 2 years, maybe longer. This is my go-to essence and I absolutely love this. I really feel like it makes a difference and I will always use it. But I have just recently picked up the SK2. This is the Patera, essence that everyone talks about. I have started using it. I cannot say if I like it as much as the Sisley because I've just started, but those are the only 2 essences I use. The Sisley one is the one that I always came back to. I tried a whole bunch of other ones. I always came back to that. So I would suggest that one. That's just how I would say it. So serums. Serums, I use the Chantikai Bio Lifting Serum. I haven't been using it that long, but I do really like it. And I feel like it does really like lift my skin. And I'm enjoying it very much. And I have some Lemares that I try from time to time, but they're not consistent. I'll be very, very honest with you. The only other thing that I use consistently, if I can pull it out, is the Skin Medica TNS Essential Serum. This is this dual chamber serum, and basically it combines 2 different types of like antioxidants, peptides, and other ingredients. It's supposed to help with aging. Loss of elasticity, lines, dullness, all of that. I really do use this all the time. I get this from my dermatologist office. It is an essential for me. I always use it. I mean, it's not sexy, it doesn't smell great, but I think it works. And then we'll get to moisturizers. So let me start washing my face. You guys can see how I do this. and then we'll get to that. Okay, first step, Clos de Peau cotton pads. Shiseido and Clos de Peau. Shiseido and Clos de Peau basically are the same. It's kind of like Toyota and Lexus, if you want to think of it that way. Shiseido is Toyota, Clos de Peau is Lexus. I'm going to start using the pad so you can see what I'm talking about. The Clos de Peau is, the cotton pads are a little bit thicker and a little bit bigger. And I am, yes, that girl who was like, well, I want the thicker, the bigger ones. The Shiseido ones are fine. But I like the Clos de Peau ones because they feel softer on my face. And my skin is very reactive and I have all kinds of problems. So, you know, it is, I think they are twice as much as the Shiseido. I think they're like $30 a box for 120 or something like that. And I think the Shiseido are like half of it or close to that. I'll put the actual prices down below. But I'm pretty sure that the Clos de Peau ones are twice as much. Are they worth twice as much? I don't know, but they're what I like and they're what I use. And every time I try to get the Shiseido ones, like instead of the Clos de Peau ones, to me, I can feel it. Now, again, that might be all in my mind. Maybe I'm, you know, crazy. It's entirely possible, but I can feel the difference. So therefore, I get the Clos de Peau ones. Come in the same, like just a little, you know, paper box. Now you can see these hold up really well because I'm taking off, and I had a lot of makeup on today because I did I don't know if the video will go up before or after this, but I did a makeup where I was trying to copy a look. So I put on a lot more makeup than I normally do. All right. You can see, and I still have that, you know, skin cancer thing on my, pre-cancerous thing on my nose, which hopefully will disappear in a couple months. But anyway, you can see one, that it took off almost all my makeup, and that two, my eyes aren't irritated. Like no redness, nothing like that. So that is why I use it. I mean, it's just phenomenal. So let's use the Retrouve pump. Like I said, I use like 4 brands. I use Retrouve, Lemare, Sisley, and Chantikai. Those are the 4. There are some other items that I use from time to time. Like I mentioned, the Lush scrub. Here's how you pump it. Which I do. There's certain products by certain brands that I use. But for the most part, those are the 4 brands. That's what I stick with. And those are the brands I trust. So with this, it's kind of like a, it's not gel, it's like, it's a balm. I mean, it's like an oily balm. You can kind of see on my fingers how like, it's really thin. And I rub it into my skin, and then I wash it off. When you're done, when you wash your face, I'm sure you've heard this like a million times, but pat it dry. Don't rub your face. Unless you're trying to do some sort of exfoliation or something. Don't rub your face. All right. So let's say I was gonna do like the pads, like, you know, I decided to exfoliate my skin. And some nights I do that. What I will do, I will not use my toner, the Lemare toner that I mentioned, because I'm gonna go in with these exfoliating pads. So take a little pad. I don't go super close to my eyes because it's my eyes and you just want to be, you know, you want to be careful. I do bring it down my neck because that is the first place that you see aging. Let's face it, we all know that. Okay. And there. And I let that sink in for a couple minutes because the pads are very saturated. So it feels really nice on the skin. Just let it, you know, kind of marinate, if you will. Okay, so the next step for me at night would depend on if I was gonna wear a mask or not. So the only masks that I use overnight, I have 3. I have the Lemare Intensive Revitalizing Mask, which I will put on my face and literally just go to bed. I have the Sisley Velvet Sleeping Mask, which is probably my favorite. And then I have the Sisley Black Rose Mask. Those are the masks that I use. I put them on, I go to bed. I use, as I mentioned before, the Chantikai mask that I like scrub off. But to go to bed masks, those are the 3 I use, and they're the only 3 that I use. I know there's others on the market. I've tried lots of different brands, guys. There's a reason that I've stuck with these for a long time. Well, again, when I talk about skincare, it took me a long time to do this video because I wanted to make sure anything I recommended were things that I really believed in. I have a lot of other products on my counter right now that I am playing with, that I try out every once in a while. There's another skincare line that I'm currently trying. But these are things that are tried and true that I've used for years. In Lemare's case, I've used it for almost 25 years. So I know they work. I know they're going to be good for sensitive skin. I feel like I can trust them, you know, and you can see on me right now, like you even see me do makeup and my face turns red. I just primed my skin with those pads from Retrouve, no redness. So, I mean, they're great. They're really fantastic. So I would do 1 or 2 things. I would use those masks and go to bed. Maybe put on a serum, like the bio-lifting serum from Chantikai, and then put on the mask and go to bed. Or, depending on the time of year, I might do some different things. So, if I hadn't used the priming pads, I would use the toner, and then I would use one of those 2 essences. Depending, for last, couple years, I've just been using the Sisley. I've been trying out the SK2 lately, so I would do that. And then I would put on the bio-lifting cream, the Chantikai. So I would use that. I would use the Skin Medica TNS serum. I usually use that though at night, and then I use the bio-lifting serum in the day, like I do it like that. If you like one more than the other, you can use the TNS both times a day. Same with the bio-lifting serum. That's up to you. So I would do that. Then I would use my moisturizers. Now, in the winter, I use the Retrouve Replenishing Facial Moisturizer. I've mentioned this before. It's got a kind of weird look to it. It almost looks like a gel. And it kind of, it's got a smell to it that reminds me a little bit of medicine. I have to be honest. But again, that's because Retrouve doesn't put additional fragrances or anything in their products, so that's worth it. I'm going to put on a little bit of the SK2 essence, pat it into my face so you guys can see that. And like I said, I would either use the Retrouve moisturizer. This time of year I'll probably use that because it is starting to get really, really dry here. Or I will use my Lemare cream. And when I say Lemare cream, I mean the original Creme de la Mer, the thick cream. Those are the 2 that I use like in the winter. And when I'm looking for like less of a moisturizer, not less of a moisturizer, but not something that's not as, something that doesn't give me as much moisture, it's the Dynamic Nourishing Face Cream, which Retrouve was kind enough to gift me, and I absolutely love. It has more of that traditional face cream-like look, and I use this when I'm looking for something that's like not as much moisturizing. I just take a little dab and rub it in. It absolutely is moisturizing, guys. Don't get me wrong. It's just that because I have rosacea and extremely dry skin, sometimes I need more than that. Like sometimes I need the other one, which is the Replenishing Facial Moisturizer. Again, I'm gonna tell you about Retrouve. It does smell a little, it's not medicinal, it's the ingredients that are in here. It's the natural ingredients that are in here that are working for your skin. It's what makes me look, in my opinion, good for 48. I really love the Retrouve products. I am a huge fan. And I'm a huge fan of Sicily and Chantikai and Lemare as well. I think these products work. I think it does depend on, like I said, your type of skin, what you're looking for. But for me, these are wins. And then I have at night only one eye cream that I use. And the eye cream that I use, the Revitalizing Eye Concentrate from Retrouve. Again, I don't have any bottles right now. I actually ran out and they were out of stock for a long time, so I have to get some more, but they were kind enough to gift me with some samples to get me through until I can buy the next bottle. I think they just restocked actually. And it has a similar texture to the Dynamic facial moisturizer. It's kind of like jelly-like. It almost looks like Vaseline, but it's not. It rubs in, it goes in your skin really, really well, and you don't need a lot of it. And it's the only eye cream that I use. I have a Sisley Eye Cream that I think is really nice. The problem is it's really thick, and I get those little milias like under my eyes, like little white bumps from using it too consistently. I can use it for like a day or like 1 or 2 days, but then the little milia start popping up. So I use this and that does not happen. I do have eye cream serums that are like depuffers and stuff from Sicily, Chantikai, but those are daytime. They're not nighttime. And so the last thing I do, and again, this does depend on time of year and time of month, is I use the Rose de Mai face oil. So I let all of this kind of sink in, and then I take like a really little bit, comes in this like dropper. You can just see, I'll just do a little teeny bit right now, and I just kind of press it. And that kind of locks everything in for me. Now I know at the moment I look really shiny and dewy, but I promise you I don't look that shiny and dewy in about an hour. My skin absorbs this stuff pretty fast because it is so dry, and it really does make a huge difference. If I'm gonna go to bed right away, I might not use the oil because it will get all over your pillow. So just keep that in mind if you haven't had a chance to let it set in. But other than that, it's the only oil that I like. I've tried others. I have the Biossance line, which I've played with a little bit, and I do like their line. I have their oil, but I don't go back to it regularly. That's the thing. Like, what do you go back to regularly? And these are the 4 brands that I go back to regularly that I use. There are, like I said, a couple of other items from here and there, like certain things that I use, and I will talk about that in a daytime skincare soon. But I thought it was more important to talk about nighttime because that's really the thing that I spend the most time on. And I think it's important to know that, like, these are the things that I use consistently and I have been using for years, which I think, I look okay for 48. So anyway, there are a couple things right now that I am trying, like I said, that I have been impressed by. I just don't feel comfortable saying, they're not a staple of mine yet. The 2 things though that I would say that I've been trying that I do like are the Chanel Le Lift Night Cream. Surprisingly enough, I used to work for Chanel years ago. I hated their skincare. I really did. I was always like, this smells like perfume. But the Le Lift, I actually really like. It does have a fragrance because it's Chanel, but I actually really like it. I don't know what else to say about that, but I do like it. Picked up the Herbivore Bacachol, which is like the alternative retinol stuff. I have not tried it yet. You can see it's in a box. So I am going to update you guys on all of that because that might work. And last but not least, the Tatcha, the Rice Wash. What I will say about this product is it does work. It does not irritate my skin. It does clean my skin well, and I do like it. I just feel like it's not, I don't love it. That's all. The balms I like more. It's not bad. You hear my dogs in the background. It's not bad. I do like it. It's a good product. It does work as my second step. But for me, the balms and the oils are more my thing. But I mean, I will use this, and from time to time I do. I was using it in the summer, and in the summer I liked it. So, okay guys, I think that's it, at least for now. You probably noticed I didn't talk about eye makeup remover because, as you saw, the Kojendo Spa Cleansing Water completely got off all my makeup. But if you do have like waterproof mascara or like, you know, some heavy duty eye makeup, the only one I use, the only one I trust is the Clos de Peau eye makeup remover. It's the eye and lip makeup remover. You have to shake it up. When it's not shaken, it's like, you can see like the oil and the water in it. It is the one that if you have like heavy duty mascara or stuff that you can't get off, or the new lip stuff, Chanel, this will get it off. I used to use this only, before I got the Kojendo, because it was the only thing that didn't irritate my eyes and make my eyes get red, and my eyelids would eventually get swollen from using other eye makeup removers. That's how sensitive my eyelids are. But the Kojendo takes off pretty much everything I have now. The only time recently that I've used this is when I tried to do the false lashes and I couldn't get the magnetic lash liner off, and I used this and it got it off. So if you're looking for a good like waterproof mascara, that, you know, like heavier makeup mascara eye looks that you want to get, Clos de Peau. Telling you, it's awesome. Okay, now I'm done. So now my face is prepped for the evening. I am going to go get in bed, but I wanted to say thank you so much for joining me today, guys. I really appreciate it. I know I look like shiny, crazy person right now, but I wanted to show you all the steps that I take at night. If you have any questions at all, let me know. I'm happy to answer them in the comments below. Thanks so much, guys. Thanks for joining me. I hope to see you in another video really soon. Bye-bye.